what a woman wears has less to do with fashion than to do with moral policing. And our clothes are not our business. It's everybody else's business. To ogle, to pass judgment, to trash. And therein lies the problem that when a woman in Bangalore who went out in a short skirt, and then people said she was asking for it.
For years, women have been persecuted and been called witches.
Yeah, and burnt at the stake.
And burnt at the stake if they defied the men. I think the moment we give up that desire of wanting to be liked, we come into such power, and that scares everybody. So Shunali, the other day I was posting this monthly dump that I do of pictures of whatever's happened during the month, and going through the pictures, I uploaded stuff that I liked, and then I found myself, posting something which was just a shot of a bottle of Bacardi Breezer on a table with some assorted stuff, and then I deleted it. And it's a breezer. It's a Bacardi breezer.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like children drink breezers.
It's like what percent alcohol? 7% alcohol.
Yeah.
And after I did that, I thought to myself, why the hell did I delete it? What was I trying to not show people or trying to protect myself from? Has this ever happened to you?
I think growing up a woman, this happens to us nearly every day in different ways. Because one is that I've hesitated myself posting a picture of a bottle of good wine or something because the troll brigade will start, attacking you for drinking, judging your character. And even if they don't, there's an automatic filter that we are raised with in our heads, okay? Mm-hmm. That not only do you have to be good, you have to also be liked. Basically gaining people's approval, society approval. And society, when they say people, log, what is society? When you're very young in your mind, what are you thinking? I used to visualize whenever I was told, girls don't sit like this, but what will happen? People will say. So I used to always imagine, like I was young then, people with the larger than life monolithic structures like that looking down at me.
All the Easter Island statues.
Easter Island statues, those are people. So I think it is just part of our psyche now. We are afraid of being judged.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just men who judge you. I mean, I have a friend and she was like, she posted a picture of herself in a bikini from some beach holiday. And she said that someone went and told her mother.
Oh my God.
This is Facebook ka days when you could do a photo dump there.
Huh.
And in a whole photo dump, there was a picture of her chilling on the beach in a swimsuit. And someone went and told her mom that, your daughter is very bold now. And then people cloak it. She'll just get into trouble. I'm just saying because you know how boys will talk.
They're being well-meaning about it.
Yeah.
Well-meaning.
This is patriarchy, na? Patriarchal panchayat.
This tell your mother thing never goes away. I'm 50 plus and I used to post selfies of myself and I used to hashtag them traffucked selfies.
Yeah.
For the longest
I remember
time.
them. Yeah.
For the longest time. What I didn't realize is that the stories on Instagram go as stories on Facebook.
Correct. Unless you change the setting.
Yeah. And someone told my mom.
No way.
And my mom, this school mom from yesteryears, calls me up. You're using fuck on social media.
Are you serious, Kiran? Oh my God.
Mother, I swear.
Mother, I swear.
You are using fuck on your posts. Everybody is seeing it. How can you use bad language? Is this how I've raised you? Like, I have raised a child after you have raised me.
I know.
And he uses much more bad language than I do.
This is hilarious. But just yesterday I was wearing shorts and I had to run an errand. And I'm okay to walk around in shorts. They weren't ripped or anything. And then I just said, no, it's inappropriate. I don't know for whom is it inappropriate, okay? I know that when my daughters are leaving this house and, they're wearing these distressed shorts these days from where butt cheeks are showing. That is inappropriate, okay? Because the male gaze is such that if you want your safety and security, there's that whole element of that. So I'm not talking about an element of shame right now. Shame is what we discussed before this. Your mom saying you're posting this, or some aunt saying take that down, or some guy saying, oh my God, she drinks alcohol. That's an element of shame, which is the patriarchal panchayat. Okay. But here I'm talking about an element of safety. So I've always told my girls that don't do thinks that given the country where we live in, there are men at different levels who aren't exposed to legs or whatever to that extent. So just to tempt fate, they're like, but we are going with the driver. It's okay. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to titillate these men. So I get that. And even when outside of India, I don't know what is that fashion. How is showing half your butt a fashion? Okay, like
But
for grown people also. So
anyway,
that I have a problem with, but I see myself holding back, and this is even now when I just went to I took a polar dip near the North Pole. Now, if I go trekking, I climbed the tiger's nest. I posted pictures of myself in some trekking gear, and if I go skiing, I post pictures of myself skiing. Polar dip was, I think, the bravest, most courageous thing that I've ever done, because
freezing temperatures.
Yeah. And when I posted a photo dump on Instagram, I posted a picture of myself in the photo dump, which was a distant shot and not a proper shot where you could see I was actually going into the water. I hesitated from posting it in my carousel because I was like, you know what, I don't want trouble. People will say she's posting the whatever. But I did then later on share it in my story because there was a picture of us walking into the water. And I said, just because other people are going to make judgments about this, like by posting and nearly taking it down, I'm not going to hesitate. But then I took it down not long after I posted it because something in me was feeling.
It's also not the being judged when it is clothes. I don't post pictures of me in shorts. I used to not post. And after a few times I said, forget it, what the hell? I've got good legs, let me show them off. But the fact is that people think it's being posted for attention. And you don't want that.
But you're right. But there are people who post this for attention, thirst traps.
Thirst traps. And that's not what we're doing. If you're on a holiday on a beach, you're going to wear shorts, you're going to wear a swimsuit.
Of course.
And that's just the environment that it is. And you're enjoying yourself. You're posting a picture of that.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be misinterpreted as a
You're
thirst
right.
trap.
Actually, you have nailed it. It's exactly that. That subconsciously, now that you've spelled it out for me, this is what it is.
You don't want to be categorized in that category of posties. No judgment on them. It's wonderful. I admire their confidence to do that. But that's not me. And the judgment, it doesn't come to you from strangers. It comes to you more from people who know you.
Yeah,
I've seen
course.
that.
Yeah.
You're not so much worried about this whole thing you mentioned, log kya kahenge? People, what will people say?
Yeah.
It's not the people, it's not the amorphous internet that we're trying to, keep at bay. They can do what they want. It is the ones who will call up your mom and say she's using trafficked on Facebook.
Yeah. The so-called well-meaning answer uncles. But Kiran, it also then, it's about, when I said that women have to be liked, being good is not enough. You have to be liked also.
Yeah, and that is the greatest disservice
Right?
we
So
do
being
ourselves.
good, I understand saying that be well-mannered, right? Greet people nicely, don't use cuss words. All that I understand. But a bossy girl is not liked very much. An opinionated girl is not liked very much. A girl who doesn't allow men to hold forth on a topic, whether you're sitting around friends or with family members. So these things have bothered me from a very young age. From a very young age, it has bothered me when anyone has ever said that, you're so aggressive, you're so bossy.
You need to shrink yourself to be liked.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with shrinking yourself, you will be liked.
Yeah.
You will be taken for granted. You will be that good person, the nice person. But not being nice is not very palatable to the world. Why? Because then they can't box you.
Yeah.
Because you will not do what you're told. You will not behave in a certain way. You will
It's
not
about control, no?
Yeah, it is about the patriarchy.
It is ultimately about
About the
patriarchy. And it is about patriarchy. It is about control. It is not about letting women get out of hand. Because if you think about it, and I'm going back into all those years of human history. So Juana Inés was a poet. She spoke up against misogyny. It was in the 1600s. And she was called the Mexican Phoenix because at that time, for a woman to really have her own mind from such a young age, right from the age of 16, she secretly educated herself. So she was persecuted for this. And all her books and literature was taken and burnt. And eventually she died of plague. But I'd heard this in Mexico. That was the official version.
Okay. And the unofficial version?
I mean, it could have been that something was done to her. But to cut a long story short, I think the point being that there have been many such women who've tried to really not go with the tide or go with the narrative that is suitable to men, that doesn't unsettle them. So I think restricting women to first domesticity and then agreeing to educate them a bit as, we've grown and our mothers have grown up before us with a slightly more permissive society. But then, we've educated them, but let them still not have opinions. Let them not speak over us. Let us feel upset when they challenge our authority. So it is about control.
It is about control. I mean, for years, women have been persecuted and been called witches.
Yeah, and burnt at the stake.
And burnt at the stake if they defied the men and if they had knowledge. Most importantly, I think what this boils down to at the end of the day is self-awareness, knowledge, control, as you said, the patriarchy, and the greatest disservice that we women have internalized.
Yeah, we have.
About wanting to be liked. I think the moment we give up that desire of wanting to be liked, we come into such power, and that scares everybody.
Yeah. Actually, this is what happens to you the minute
you get menopausal.
You get to an age where you're like, I don't care. You don't like me? That's fine. You're not paying my taxes for me. I will live exactly how I wish to live. As long as I am not risking my life or my children's life, I will live exactly on my own terms. And I've actually sort of been a bit like that. You can never be fully like that if you want to exist within a society.
Or in a family.
But I'm more unencumbered today because of this mindset than I've ever been, which is really good.
Yeah. As you said, once you cross a certain age, you stop giving a fuck. Sorry, Mom.
That is smart. Kiran, I also think, that when you say women have internalized patriarchy, I think women want safety. So 10 women who would want to be outspoken, would want to really have the kind of freedom that the bold woman or the bossy woman has, they're afraid to leave their coterie and risk being disliked. And so in return, they join that club and they dislike you. But there's the seed of your own inner suppressed need and desire to be heard. So even their clinging to their own set is an act of safety. Kiran, what do you think about people when they say, oh, she's too feminist? I just unfollowed her. She's a strong feminist. What do you say to that?
They don't understand what feminism is. They're conflating feminism with the militant feminism, which is it's a subsect of it, but that's not feminism. And if they say they are threatened by a strong feminist, then they're not secure people by themselves. Yeah.
But women themselves feel threatened by feminists.
Yeah, because maybe they feel that they are not being judged by the other person. Maybe they feel that they're found lacking in a certain way. Maybe they feel if they identify with that woman who seems to be a strong feminist, men may not want them.
I think that's it.
That whole thing of scaring men off comes into play.
But that also comes then from always be desired. It's all the Venn diagram is meeting in many places. Always be desired. The onus of looking presentable and beautiful and pretty or looking your best self, that too.
There's no Venn diagram. These are concentric circles.
You're right. You're right. It's actually exactly that, Kiran.
It's that.
Right?
See, even if we're giving an opinion.
You're judged for your opinion, but you're also judged for not looking a certain way.
Yeah. You're supposed to look a certain way if you are a certain... Now look at Pamela Anderson. She has not got the Botox way. She's not gone the Demi Moore way.
Yeah.
She has embraced her natural beauty.
After a lifetime of not embracing it. Yeah.
Fine. Der aaye durust hai. No problem. No issues
also,
with that.
physically to embrace with that size would have been difficult.
But now she's embraceable. But anyway, wrinkles, hair, no makeup, all that. More power to her. Yeah. And all the men are going on saying she's looking horrible. She's looking so frumpy.
Yeah.
Why are you judging her when she was fully made up and looking like a doll? You were judging her for being too artificial, and now you're judging her for
But
being too
then,
frumpy.
don't
Not
have
just
to
the
look
women
too
and the men.
far. Aishwarya Rai,
Huh.
okay, her sense of style aside, when she goes to Cannes, in between she had gained some weight. My God, Kiran, you had to see the kind of memes that were, sprouting across the internet because she was being just trolled and criticized for weight gain. Why? Show me all. There are fat men who've made a career out of being fat.
And with great confidence.
Yeah. Who's that actor? Very good actor. Ram Kapoor.
Ram Kapoor, who's lost a lot of
Ram
weight now.
Kapoor, there was no dearth of roles coming to him even when he
Leading
was
man roles.
18 sizes greater than what he's now.
And very popular serials at that.
Correct. So, a man at any stage in any size is all right. A woman who was known for her beauty now gains weight, maybe because she's got a hormonal imbalance going, maybe because she's had a baby, but she has to be criticized. No wonder women put all sorts of pressure on themselves. And nobody's impervious to this.
Nobody, and especially not people from the glamour world, because everything is image at the end of the day.
Yeah, but Kiran, forget glamour world. Today, if people started writing under your and my pictures, oh my God, she looks so old, looks like a prune, okay? Or any of these unflattering comments, okay? I'm not saying that people should write and endorse the fact that, oh, she's looking lovely. Even if people start criticizing you and I won't be able to take it.
Obviously, we're human.
Which human being will be happy with being spoken of like that?
At the end of the day, we all want love and we all want appreciation. I think then back again, we circle to likability.
We all want to belong. We want to be liked, but we want to be liked on our own terms. And we don't want to be liked by a definition dictated to us by men. That is what we are saying.
And rewriting the narrative. What worries me, okay, fine. Keep the looks and the appearance and the behavior aside. Opinions. How many times do we self-censor ourselves on the internet from expressing something or saying something?
My entire life on Twitter was about that, because every time I did not self-censor myself or I expressed a very strong feminist opinion, oh my God, men on Twitter were frothing in the mouth.
Yeah. Like a woman with an opinion is the short skirt of the internet.
But today there are so many women who have an opinion. There are women in politics. There are women in space. Why is it still such a thing?
And the dislike for the opinion will come from people with generally a lot of numbers at the end of the handle, or the lack of a authentic profile picture. So it is not somebody who is putting out an opinion and wants to be known for putting out that opinion. It's an anonymous handle. And I think they get most of their validation from dissing women with an opinion. So what happens when women start censoring themselves? Okay, there are a few who are outspoken, and who will speak their mind and get trolled for it and be able to take the trolling. We've got many of those in our Indian Twitter as well, who've been handling it. But the majority will step back. The majority will say, who wants to deal with this shit every day? And what happens is the female voice is quietened down. And it becomes an echo chamber. There's only one sort of voice that is speaking out and, talking about things. Other voices are saying, okay, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be part of this shit. I just want to stay out of it and live my life peacefully. The public space for women, which is Twitter and social media, gets narrowed down.
Is it? So that's what I'm asking you, that now that women are vocal and some really don't care, shouldn't this be changing? Is it not changing? I'm wondering if it is changing. Is this self-censorship only in your and my heads now? Can I tell you, the younger generation thinks nothing of saying a lot of bold things and using a lot of shocking words in front of the camera. Some of them are very foul. And I just think that using foul language as such has really nothing to do with being your true self.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that for a man or for a woman, using abusive language on camera, on a platform, is a way of attention seeking. But if you look beyond that, just standing up there on a soapbox and holding your own today should be getting easier, because the younger generation, I think, is doing a better job of it, I feel, if you take the cuss words aside.
I think that's also because right now they are very strong in their opinions. Okay, they're still building up sense of identity. They're still putting themselves out there that this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and I want to tell you who I stand for. I think after a certain point, you are like, I am okay, this is who I stand for, and I don't need to shout it out to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand it, fine. I may try to tell you about it. If I'm going to get shouted down, I'll just back off.
that, and also in their personal life, if they begin to unsettle some male ego, some boyfriend, some husband, so then that's another little loop of trouble that you're inviting, because the male ego, I don't know, why is the male ego so fragile?
In India, it's the Raja Beta syndrome, no? But it's across the world, so I don't think it's India specific.
Yeah, it's inherited in the DNA, it's bred in the bones. Maybe it's just an evolutionary thing.
That they always have to be right.
Yeah.
I saw a wonderful meme the other day. It was about this man coming out wrapped in the blanket, and the woman has, taken a pillow, fartified it, torn it. What am I saying? Torn it, and she's taken out the fluff from it, and sprinkling it on it. All hail my husband. The saint who's always right.
Excellent.
So I think that about sums it up.
I think I remember seeing this. I think I'm consuming too much on social, because it takes me a while to remember what I've watched.
No. I think we consume too much on social anyway.
Yeah.
And that's part of what it is. We've got goldfish memory.
A journalist friend of mine was telling me that the minute she brought up, I want maternity leave, she stopped being a team player with the men in her team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because she wanted maternity leave.
Yeah, basically she was contesting above and beyond what the company policies are. And she said that I brought up maternity leave policies at work. Okay. And immediately she said, I felt the men around me get cagey, and suddenly they started othered me.
Oh.
And they say, remember, Simone de Beauvoir said, you're not born a woman, you become
a woman.
Okay,
yeah.
You are not born a woman, you become a woman, because society tells you what is a woman, and then you grow into that little mold.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all born free-spirited, we were born exactly the way men are born, and then we were, like foot binding happens in China, this binding around our minds, around our, personalities has happened, and that is what is called becoming a woman. Therefore, you're not born a woman, you become a woman.
You get constrained into being a woman.
In fact, we keep saying this, that everyone must read The Second Sex, and also, what is the Germaine Greer's Female Eunuch? Second Sex and Female Eunuch.
And Betty Friedman's...
Yeah. I think, also... to elaborate a little more on this concept of you become a woman, we never othered men, right? We accept men that, okay, a man is XYZ, he ticks a few buckets. At least that's the kind of man we've seen growing up. But men other women.
Okay.
And this othering of women is what Simone de Beauvoir spoke about. And obviously, there have been people after her who also done this, but every time there's a woman like that who rises, there are 10 who fall. And therefore, it never becomes a movement. It never catches on. It's happening at a very small level, centimeter by centimeter, like a snail. And hopefully, another 50 years from now, women will be able to have their own voices and own it.
50 years from now?
Maybe longer.
Oh my God. I better get serious about this, life extension therapy. If I want to live to see it.
Yeah, we won't live to see it.
We won't live to see it.
Kiran, so it's true that in India, what a woman wears has less to do with fashion than to do with moral policing. And our clothes are not our business. It's everybody else's business. To ogle, to pass judgment, to trash. And therein lies the problem, that when a woman in Bangalore who went out in a short skirt, and then people said she was asking for it. Mm-hmm. So that also ties into this whole thing that we are discussing today, right? That women really, you're smiling like that, are not saying anything. What Bolo bhi iske upar.
Iske liye we have pictures like Lapata ladies, na? Which erase a woman completely. A woman is in a ghungat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who she is under the ghungat.
It's a pity though that Lapata Ladies was lifted from an Iranian film.
Yes, it was. Yeah. So therefore, even in Iran, in India, any country which is patriarchal, at the end of the day, the woman is her clothes, and her clothes are meant to cover, not to reveal.